In Lesson 2, we're going to be talking about positions on the guitar, how to read simple tablature, and we're going to apply some of the techniques we learned in last lesson to a couple songs. So when we're talking about playing guitar, we have to know a little bit about positions. When somebody says that they're in a certain position on the guitar, what they're referring to is where your index finger is. So for example, if we're in third position on the guitar, our index finger would be on the 3rd fret. In the last lesson, the exercise we learned it in 5th position. We started with our index finger on the 5th fret. Now what that tells us is when you're in a position, you can cover a 4-fret span. So basically, think of it as if your fingers were assigned to frets. So if we're in 5th position, our index finger is going to play every note played on the 5th fret. Our 2nd finger will play every note played on the 6th fret. Our 3rd finger will play every note played on the 7th fret. And our 4th finger, or pinky finger, will play every note played on the 8th fret. So wherever your index finger is, that is the position you were in. If your index finger is on the 1st fret, you're in 1st position. If it's on the 2nd fret, you're in 2nd position. If it's on the 3rd fret, we're in 3rd position, and so on. Okay, now I'm going to teach you how to read guitar tablature. So what you have here is we have a tabbed out version of Wild Thing by the Trogs. Pretty simple song that everybody should be familiar with. Now guitar tablature is written exclusively for guitar, and it just simplifies the way you can read music for guitar. So normally you have a regular music staff here with 5 lines where you'd have notes and notes with rhythm information. Now with guitar tab, we have no rhythm information. You have 6 lines representing each string of the guitar. The bottom line is your low E 6th string. That line is your A string. The 3rd line is your D string. The 4th line is your G string. The 5th line up is your B string. And the last line up is your high E string. It's kind of the opposite of the way you would think it would be, but that's the way it is. So the numbers represent the frets you play on those strings. They do not represent your fingers. Some people get confused. So on Wild Thing here, we have a 3, so you play the 3rd fret on the low E string. You play it once, then you play it again. Then you would jump up here to the A string, play the 3rd fret twice. Then you come over here and you play the 5th fret on the A string twice. And then back to the 3rd fret on the A string twice. In the bar here, normally if we were up here on a regular music staff, a bar would separate out bars of 4 beats or whatever time signature the music was in. I don't really use that for that purpose. I use it more to just kind of separate out individual parts of the song that are easy to grasp, so you can take it kind of slowly. So don't get confused by that. So now that I've taught you the basic principles of reading tablature, let's take a look at applying what we've learned so far to a tune. So we're going to take Wild Thing, pretty easy song. Everybody should be familiar with it. If you're not, look it up. We're going to play a simplified single note version of it. And we're going to play this in 3rd position. So with your index finger on the 3rd fret, on the low E string, we're going to fret that down, making sure our palm is planted lightly on the bridge. Our fingers are arched. We're playing with the tips of our fingers and not the pads. We're going to fret it right behind the fret. We're going to pick that twice. Make sure you're alternating your picking, going down, up, down, up. Okay, now we're going to move down to the A string, 3rd fret with our 1st finger. Pick that twice. Then we're going to move with our 3rd finger, 5th fret, still on the A string. Pick that twice. Then back to the 3rd fret A string with our 1st finger. Now, you don't have to even lift this finger up. You can leave it down. Then it makes it easy when you go back. All you got to do is lift your third finger. So it should sound something like this when you put it all together. So play that until you're comfortable with it. You can just keep repeating it. It's a pretty recognizable tune that you'll be able to play, and you can start to apply the single note picking, alternating your picking, all the principles we talked about in Lesson 1. You can apply that to this song. Now we're going to apply the principles we learned to a second tune, Amazing Grace, a song everybody should be familiar with. We're going to play this in first position with our index finger on the first fret. It's going to be using some open strings. It should sound something like this. So looking at your tab and watching me, let's start with the first phrase. So we got an open D string to open G. Then we have open B to open G, back to open B. Take note of the way I'm picking this with my pick hand. Just do it nice and slow, and just get that first part down before we even move on. Now, once you get that down, let's move on to the second part. So we're going to put our second finger on the second fret, G string. So second fret to open G. And then basically the same thing on the D string. So let's put both parts together. Okay, once you got that down, then it's time to move on. We're basically going to repeat the very first part of the song. Then we'll go to second fret, G string, to third fret, B string. So now let's put all that together. So we're about halfway through the song now. The second half starts with an open B to third fret B string. Just like that. So open B, third fret B, third fret B string again, open B string to open G string. Okay, now we move on to open D string, second fret D string, open G string twice, second fret D string, open D string. That part should sound like this. So from starting at the second half, you should be up to there. Then the end, just like the beginning. That last little part is just second fret, G string, open G string. That's it. That's Amazing Grace. Make sure you take your time. Learn a part at a time before you move on. Then just stack them on top of each other, and before you know it, you'll have the whole song down. Make sure you reference your tab. If you need to go back and pause the video on the tab, make sure that you are understanding the tab and how it works and are able to read that. And just have fun with it.